Step 2, torque by sequence to 22 foot-pounds.
The turbo motor and full-time four-wheel drive dual range.
That Duker's pretty moisty.
Is that recording?
Yeah, I wanted to get in the shot.
All right,
It's my birthday today. And this is what we get to do for my birthday. Because, like, I'm not going to make a bunch of WAP for people to not show up and drink it. Because I did that the last 2 years. So instead, we're working on this fucking car engine here.
Alrighty. Oil pan, we're taking it off. We're going to clean it.
There we go.
Show them what the inside of that looks like. So let's clean off this straightener. You get our surfaces clean. And what we want to do is clean out the oil pan itself. Get all the crap out of it and prep it for the gasket. Wouldn't be a bad idea to put some ultra gray on the corners of this thing where the holes are. And don't over torque it. Alright, we're going to put our oil pan together. I have a little bit of some ultra grayness for the anus. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the pan side. Because what you'll find out is when you take enough of these apart, you're going to find that the cork gasket is entirely cooked to the pan side. Sometimes so hard that you'll have to like grind it off with a flapper disc wheel on an angle grinder. So I'll put a little bit of this on here. It'll help our gasket to stay in place as we install it. And it helps the gasket to seat, in my opinion, I think. And it'll make changing this in the future a lot easier. A little bit of that around the holes. Just like that. It's not terribly technical. You can take your finger and smear it on if you like. Alright, here's our engine halves. I'm going to put a little bit of this where the halves split together, where there's a seam. There's some there, and you can see the seam here. Just put a little splook of it there. Just enough. Now we have our pan, if you want to put it down here for a second. This gasket does fit one way. You can see that's a little different, so turn it over. Just like that. Typically you're doing this from under the car. What's nice about the car is that the frame has holes through it for which you can stick a screwdriver through to loosen these bolts. And to tighten them up, you can stick your 1/4 inch extension through it and then put the socket on the other side. So here's our gasket. It stays to our pan. Just pretend you're upside down with a ninja flip under the car. When you put this on, you want to make sure it's going to go around our fill pipe, so it's a little bit of a kind of a little jog you have to do to get around it. On some models, your pan's going to get wedged between your engine mounts, so sometimes you got to crick it up. Then we're going to stick our bolts in and just snug them down finger tight. And when we torque them up, we're going to torque them working from the middle out towards the corners, and then the bolts on the corners will be the last ones to go in. The idea is to stretch the oil pan out from all directions, to not have it buckle up on one end. And don't forget that oil plug, for sure. When you're replacing the oil pan plug, when you're draining your oil or servicing it otherwise, there's a copper washer on there. It's a good idea to replace it. What happens is it's designed to be replaced every time because it soaks up the torque and flattens out. What happens is when you don't do that, you end up getting a little bit of a leak, so you end up cranking down more torque on it, and after enough times you're going to end up killing the threads. Now we torque these down. It's a good idea to go around just a snug at a time, all the way around each time, make maybe 2 or 3 passes. What you don't want to do is over tighten this oil pan, because what it will do is it will split the gasket and ruin it. Alright, I'm going to tighten up these oil pans. What I'm going to do is I'm going to snug down all the bolts, working from the middle out. So for example, these two, and the ones opposite. And the top. I'm working my way out towards the corners. Bottom. Alright, and that's leaving the corner ones here. Corner. 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 Now whichever bolt it happens to be is kind of arbitrary. Which this was the corner, the other was the corner. But that's what you want to go for. So now those are basically all snug. I'm going to go back through again and give her like about 1/8 of a turn or so. Quarter turn. The idea is you want the bolt tight enough to stay, but not so tight it's going to crush the gasket. Over some time, some thousands of miles, you could get up underneath here, maybe snug them back down a little bit as a general service. And as you know, as you tighten bolts down, the ones you just tightened first start to be loose, so it doesn't hurt to go around it a third time. Just give her just take the hair out of it. As you can see, this is how much I'm turning my wrench each time. Not really cranking them. There you have it, boys and girls. Our oil pan is ready to go. Just kind of feel it.
I feel it in my pants.
Alright, we're going to remove our valve covers and change those gaskets. Really simple. Got 3 bolts. Thread them out. Now what you're going to have is a gasket and grommets for this.
Not if you just get the valve cover gaskets, but you're going to want to make sure to get the grommets too. Because,
Grommets come with it.
well, not with if you buy the individual valve cover.
When you buy these valve cover gaskets, you're going to buy them through Felpro, but they're going to include an OEM gasket, so the ones in the box are going to be from the manufacturer.
And here's the part number for Napa right there, folks. VS50395R valve cover set. 2 valve cover gaskets and 6 grommets. There we are.
Alright, here's the inside of our valve cover. If you wish, you could take the time to clean that up.
But this is our gasket here. And watch this. It's just me going like that. Hear that?
Oh, the crack on you?
Yeah, you hear that?
That's no good.
You see that? That snap, crackle, pop just fucked up. Look at that. Look better.
This is our Felpro gasket set. See what I'm saying?
Oh, there ain't money.
You got it now. Yeah.
You don't have to go to the dealer to get that Subaru brew. You can just go to Napa for these.
This is our Felpro gasket set. Comes with this. It also includes the grommets for the bolts. The grommets are supplied by the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna put this guy on, just line it up. It's like that easy. Oh look, it's on there. Let's put a bolt in it. Ooh-wee. There we go. You see there's our new grommets. These are also the same grommets you find on the old EJ22 Subarus. Never missed a beat with these guys. And these are shoulder bolts, so you just tighten them up till they bottom out. You don't have to worry about squishing a gasket on this one. Oh yeah. Start from the middle. Now if you're doing this with the engine in the car, an easy way to do it is to take the engine mount bolts off, remove the pitch bar, jack up the transmission to raise the engine up a few inches. Tighten them up till they bottom out. About 1/8 of a turn. There you go, that's our valve cover. Then you want to replace the O-ring in this guy, you're all sealed up.
What is that? How big is that O-ring?